to start when another dog comes. Okay, I'll start. Gang Hai Fa Choi. Happy New Year of the Rabbit. Happy Chinese New Year of the Rabbit. Thank you for joining me. This is my my predictions for the upcoming Chinese Year of the Rabbit, 2023, and I want to do some predictions for you for what you're going to experience over the next 12 months, maybe a bit more. I don't know when the new Chinese Year begins after this. It will be Dragon Year. Wow, Dragon Year next. Oh, hold on a second. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Go, Papa, go, go, go. Good girl. Bit of an interruption there. Alright, Papa, sit down. So yes, I'm going to pull some cards. I've got my selection of cards here ready, and we are going to do some readings for you. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the Rabbit Year. It's going to be an interesting time with what we've been experiencing recently. The Tiger Year, wow. I mean, a lot of people struggled in this Tiger Year, and not necessarily because of the repercussions of the pandemic either. Hey, Baba, don't do that. Not necessarily because of the repercussions of the pandemic either, but because there's just the energy of this Tiger Year was such that it was quite oppressive, and a lot of signs felt like they couldn't be themselves, and they couldn't stand in their power in quite the way that they used to. You need to stop doing that, sweetie. Stop doing that. So the Rabbit Year is going to change that. It is going to allow people to not feel so oppressed and suppressed. So there is a certain level of freedom that wasn't there in the Tiger Year. The other thing that's going to be quite noticeable for most signs is the fact that it's a far more creative year. Not that tigers aren't creative, they're very creative. But the influence that the Rabbit Year has on people is that it makes them more creative, and there's something about the rabbit sign that is kind of the political artist. So they use their art to challenge. You use lots of indirect ways to challenge authority. And I think one of the things that they do is they're very good at civil disobedience. For example, I talked about this in my the article I wrote for the 2023 Chinese New Year of the Rabbit. That's on my website. I talked about how in the last Rabbit Year, 2011, in the UK, we had the London riots, which were started because the police shot a black man, Mark Duggan, I believe his name was, and in protest, these riots took place where there was like mass looting of like stores. Started off in like North London, in a place called Tottenham, and then it just sort of spread across the country. And that these riots where people are just smashing windows and taking things, and that, not that is civil disobedience, because it's not very civil. It's uncivil disobedience, but it gives you an example of the kind of chaotic, laissez-faire energy that comes in Rabbit Years. There's also a lot of natural disasters, especially autumn time. But the positive, I suppose those are, I don't know whether they're positive or negatives. The civil disobedience thing depends on where you land in terms of your beliefs. But there are lots of positives, however, which I'm going to focus on. Primarily being that you are allowed to be yourself. Being yourself is rewarded. Standing in your power, using your art to say how you feel. And just generally, it's a romantic year. It's also one of the 2 years of beauty, the dog year and the Rabbit Year. Those are the two signs that are connected to beauty. So it's one of those years where you want to make your surroundings beautiful. You want to like look after yourself, look after your health, make yourself more beautiful, and just do those things that really make your heart come alive. Now I've got 6 packs of tarot cards here. So this is the Starseed Tarot. This is the Witch's Tarot. I've used this quite a lot of times. You will, those of you who've seen my videos before will know that I've used this pack before. Got the traditional Rider-Waite deck. The Robin Wood pack. This lovely green energy, green cards. We have the Archangel pack, one of the Doreen Virtue packs. She does make beautiful cards. She really does, with the angels. And this is the pack which I use the most, which is the Druid pack. We're now going to look at the horse sign, going to do the prediction for 2023, Year of the Rabbit, for those of you who are born in the Year of the Horse. Okay, so the way it's going to work, I'm going to do a general reading first, then a health reading, a wealth reading, and then romance, and then I'm going to pull 12 cards for one for each of the month of the 2023 Year of the Rabbit. Okay, cool. I'm ready to start. Let's do a general reading first. Okay, so it looks like this year is going to be quite a fruitful year for you. The overall outcome card is the card of the single woman who lives life on her own terms. She's got loads of money, loads of resources, loads of connections. She has businesses, she manages them, but she doesn't have to even work for it. She can take some time off and just get other people to do that work for her, because she's, you know, the primary investor, and she can just live life doing things she enjoys. So this is it's really positive. That's the overall outcome card for the general. So that would suggest that you can really achieve a certain level of success this year. The card that's fallen into position of the recent past and how that past is still affecting you is one of the big changes that you made is you put boundaries in place. This is really, really positive. So the Emperor card is that person who recognizes, look, I've got a lot going for myself. I have worked really hard for these things that I have, but also I've worked really hard for who I have become. And so I am this emperor being. I have an empire, but I am an empire. And I need to protect that empire because I can't let somebody else just come along and take that from me. So I need to put boundaries in place to protect me and to protect my assets. And I think you've already begun to do that. And that's really put you in a certain mind frame now that's going to continue. You're standing guard, as you should. There is a bit of a wall up, but I think it could serve you this year. And I wouldn't suggest pulling that wall down, because sometimes walls are important. And it's possible that because this position is influences working in your favour, I would say keep that wall up for a little while. You don't have to be friendly to everybody, and you don't owe anybody anything either. That's the other thing. Influence is working against you. Don't fall into that place of self-pity and self-neglect. Sometimes that can happen if you have an insecurity attack, and you can go to that place. And if it does happen, you know it's natural. Let it sort of see itself through to its natural conclusion, but don't elongate it. Don't sit there with it and just pine and fall into a mode of self-pitying that goes on forever. Life's too short. Rabbit year's too short. You've got too much to achieve this year. Short-term future, we've got the Earth Mother, who looks after herself first and everybody else afterwards. She's really interesting. She is both the goddess of creation and goddess of destruction. So stay on her good side. Keep that energy working in a positive way and help her create the ideal circumstances around her, because that's what she does. Use that Earth Mother energy to nurture yourself and your environment, and everything around you will flourish. It's really positive. What's interesting is the outcome is this yin woman here, right? Successful yin woman. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here in the short-term future, and in the long-term future we've got the Queen of Swords. So it's really yin energy this year for you, because this is a general for the entire year. So that's interesting. It's divine feminine energy that's going to help you get to your successful outcome this year. Interesting, eh? So the Queen of Swords is the military queen. So she's also very good at communication and speaking. So it's possible in the second part of the year that might play a part, or just generally having to be the military queen, having to give orders to people who consider themselves more prominent than you, or they might consider themselves more alpha than you, because you might be the more quiet person, more reserved, possibly a bit more introverted. But you have built yourself up. You have the experience. You have all of the skill set you need to be in the position that you're in, and you can use that to put the arrogance and the ignorant people in their place, because you are in that position and they're not. So it's really a really empowering reading here for 2023. I think there's a lot that you can achieve, especially financially. I'm wondering what the romantic spread is going to look like, because the fact that we've got the single woman here would suggest, it's a bit similar to the reading I've just done for the snake. It could be more work-oriented and not romance-oriented. Sometimes I find that if you've gone through a lot of trauma, as we all have, sometimes if you're working on that, sometimes you just need some time just to pass whilst you are working on it, and things are working in the background without you realizing. So it doesn't mean you're not making any headway towards your romantic goals, but sometimes you might just need some time in the background. But we'll see when we get to the romantic spread. We'll see what comes up. Before we do, should we go there now? I've been doing it in order, usually health, wealth, then romance, but maybe we'll go to romance first, just because of what I just said there. Let's have a look. It would make sense, wouldn't it? And I'll do health and wealth afterwards. So it was as I thought. I don't see an outcome here, but I see you're working on it, you know? You've been working on it. This card's falling in the position of the past. You can see that the child's been working on it and is just going to continue working on it. So there are opportunities this year, but I don't see any of them reaching any main conclusion. That's not to say that you don't meet people this year. You could meet someone, but I don't see you sort of turning it into like a long-term relationship I'll tell you what, let me read it. Let me read the card so I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So influences working in your favour is the wheel turns in your favour, and the wheel of fortune turns in your favour. So not just financially, but we're asking about romance here. So there are people that are going to be around, and there's people that are going to be interested in you, because there always are. You know, the horses are these elegant creatures who are just, they're fun, they're frisky, they're intelligent, they've got so much going for them. But there is something about them that's a little bit untouchable as well, because you get too close, they move backwards. And it's just their natural instinct. But in order to really attract the horse, you can't be too. You've got to really just give them time and let them see who you are, get them to respect you, and then they can really have a relationship with you. In terms of the other way around, it just depends on which signs you're attracted to. I know that horses are attracted to rabbits. And in the rabbit year, it doesn't mean you have to go for a rabbit person, but we're in the rabbit year, so it's a prominent time for you to let people know how you think and how you feel about them. Influences working in your favour is the military king, and the sword suit is the air suit. So the horse element is also air. So this would be one of the archetypes of the horse potentially, right? He is harsh. He's the military king. He removes all the emotion and makes decisions based upon fact and fact alone. And I think that you can't afford to do that. And some horses really do that. You know, they can be really extremely rational when they want to be, and that's not always a good thing, because you have to also understand the emotional. And they do, like horses do understand the emotional, but sometimes I don't understand their emotional math. You know. Sometimes I just don't understand it. Maybe they see things I don't. Anyway, short-term future, we've got the restriction card. So remember, this is all about romance now. For reasons unknown, there's some sort of restriction there. But, you know, it's short-lived. And also, if you really do want something, you can take that blindfold off, and you can remove the ropes that have tied your arms as well in time. So this is short-term future. So, you know, beginning part of the year. But the blindfold does come off, and you'll have more freedom than you think, because your legs are free. So it's not like you're completely restricted, you're partially restricted, but there is still movement there. Slightly longer term future, we've got the Three of Wands. Now this is with this card, a period of waiting is indicated. So do you see what I said before? Even before we got to the romantic spread, I'm not sure whether romance is going to be your focus, because here we've got restriction, and here we've got having to wait because your work stuff is really taking off. And the overall outcome card is there are seeds. You can sow your seeds for the real romantic success, but they haven't grown up yet. So you're sowing those seeds, and they will eventually flourish. Dragon year, snake year, horse year, and sheep year are on the way. Those 4 years tend to be very, very good for horses in terms of romance. Now, rabbit year is not bad, but I think because of your trajectory and where you're at, it could just be that your mind is focused on the work stuff right now. So if you wanted to focus it on the romance, how would it be? Look what we got. Ace of Hearts, right? and then we've got you in a position of a higher perspective, right? Position of advantage. So if you wanted to make love your focus, you could make it your focus. So it's not to say that this is what's going to happen. It just means that this is what's likely to happen because of your trajectory, and your work stuff is really taking off. However, if you were like, nah, I don't care about work, I want romance, you can make it happen this year as well, okay? It just means whatever your focus is going to flourish, but your focus is your work. Right, on that basis, let's do wealth. Let's do it completely backwards this time around. All the other ones I've done, health reading first, then wealth, then romance. Let's do wealth next, and then we'll do health last. Wouldn't that be the way? The sign that is the contradiction is the sign that gets their readings backwards. You're so special, horse. You can't help it. Let's do this. Right, wealth. Wow. So, this is the year to take action. If you've been procrastinating, this is the year to take action. Excuse me. You've had lofty ideas before, and you haven't taken action on them. And you've regretted it sometimes, and sometimes you thought, I'm not sure that thing would have worked out anyway. But now, what's been happening last year in particular, the last few years, is that you've really managed to get hold of an idea and make it concrete. And through that, there's creativity as well as taking that creativity and making it so it's solid and it's practical and it's going to work. You know, you created this product, now you've got something. And now we take it from there, right? So now we take action, now we market it, now we sell it, now we do something with it. We make this product work for us now, right? So, now influence is working in our favour is a card of speed and synchronicity. So a lot is going to help us out. The divine is going to help us out, and we're going to make the right connections at the right time. We're going to come up with the right ideas. This time has come. All those types of things. What's also interesting is you're going to get the opportunity to travel potentially this year. It might and it's really going to be exciting opportunities to travel, exciting ways to do things. But you've got your work to get done as well. So I would say take those opportunities to travel if you can get your work done at the same time. If you think it's going to impact your work, then don't do it. Because first half of the year, we've got the Wheel of Fortune turns in your favour. So there's so much happening at this time. In the beginning part, there's so many positive things happening. So you just got to take them. And just work your arse off, man. This is the time to do it. Second half of the year, you can slow down, okay? She's the nurturer. She takes care of herself. And, she takes care of other people first and then herself. But she's not like the Queen of Pentacles who takes care of herself first and then other people. She takes care of others first. It could be that this could be connected to your work. A lot of the horses that I know tend to work in environments that are creative, first and foremost. I've got a friend who's a photographer, a friend who is a dancer, psychologists. You know, a lot of horses become psychologists. And I used to joke, right? I used to joke saying, well, it's crazy that they're the most instinctive sign, and that's how they get their ideas. They're instinctive, but they're probably the least psychological. And as the years have gone by, I've met more and more psychologists that are horse signs. So I'm not sure if I'll take that back or not. I don't know. Give me a few years, I'll see how I feel. But second half of this year, the Queen of Cups says, I'm going to nurture you, horses. I'm going to give you lots of love and encourage you to give yourself love and time and freedom. And she's also the counsellor, the therapist, and the performing artist. Okay, so if that means something to you, it could mean because remember, this reading here is about wealth. It could mean that you nurture and look after your assets and your resources, and you place them in places that are going to yield to you a better return. It can also mean, you know, as you're doing this and as you're finding new success, maybe you need some guidance through a psychotherapist or psychologist or counsellor or someone that can help guide you so that your mindset continues to grow because you need to have an expanding mindset if you want to be successful and you want to be wealthy, right? And as that is happening, you need to grow with it. Because if you don't grow with it, you're going to get stuck at a certain point. And if you earn anything extra, you're going to lose it, because you need to believe you deserve what it is that you're earning. So that could, getting some help, additional help, even a life coach even, getting some help with that could help expand your mind frame so that you can begin to attract even more money into your experience. But the overall outcome card for the wealth reading is take action now. Now's the time. Now is your time. All right, let's do health reading, and then we'll do the 12-month spread. Same cards, man. Same cards coming up again and again. Single woman who is spending time in a solitary way, but doing things she really, really enjoys. It's possible that if there is going to be if there is a health issue, it gets brought to your attention relatively early on in the year, so that you can take preventative measures from there on out. There is a sign that you might be so busy that you don't take care of your body in the way that you need to, in the way that you're used to. So this is a little indication, the Earth Mother again saying, take care of myself and my land and my assets, and all that belongs to me. So it could be a sign saying you need to take more care of yourself in the way that you used to, and don't let your busyness get in the way of your health regime. It could be you have to say goodbye to something like a bad diet or a bad routine that you've gotten yourself into. You've got to say goodbye to something. You've got to make some changes, and you'll do that in the early part of the year. And the second part, things are just you'll get used to your routine quite quickly. Things will just escalate from there in a really positive way, because speed and synchronicity, things just sort themselves out. Hence why the overall outcome card is the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel turns in your favour. 10 to 12 months for a massive change to actually happen. So you know what? If you have sort of been lax with your health regime over the last few years, this could be the year to really get on it now. There's people that have let their body go because of the pandemic and everything. This could be the year you finally pick yourself up and be like, you know what, I don't want to be a slump anymore. I don't want to be a lump anymore. I don't want to sort myself out. And so you do, use this time as positive. Career and health. Okay, let's do a 12-month spread and have a look at what's coming up for you month by month. Don't want to be a slump anymore. What the hell does that? That's not what that means. Slump. I meant to say lump. I don't want to be a lump anymore. I'm talking about me. And I'm not a horse sign, but that's what I'm going to do. This time next year, you're going to see a new me. Going to look like Chris Hemsworth. You're going to look at me and going to think, isn't he one of those Hemsworth brothers? Zakariya Adeel Hemsworth. I like it. Anyway, let's do the 12-month spread. Right. Okay, in January, we've got the Queen of Wands. It's going to be a time of lots of socialising, being around people, networking. It's like January starts and you're already back at work. You're already in that frame of mind. She's a social queen. She goes out there, meets people, hangs out with people, makes connections. And, she charms everybody she meets, and everybody wants to help her along on her journey. The King of Wands, he is he's not as sociable as his wife, but he has got such a good head on his shoulders, and he gives great advice to people, whether that's in terms of business or creativity or whatever. So this could be somebody you go to, or it could be you channeling those great ideas. This is in February for you. In March, we've got that card of like setting forth your fleet once all the work is done, and you have to wait before the result comes in, return comes in. There's not much you can do in March. Basically, get on with other stuff because you've done all the work in terms of the business stuff, done that out. So you can maybe start on something else if you wanted to, but you have a period of time where there's a little bit of spare time that you can breathe and do other things because you're waiting for the result to come in. All right. April, we've got the Seven of Swords. Now, he's the energy thief, person who takes from other people. So maybe you need to be conscious of the fact there could be somebody around you who's stealing your energy without your permission. Or it can mean a theft of sorts, an actual theft. But this is also somebody potentially who has addictions. Some of the what was I going to say? There's 4 cards of narcissism, and this is one of them. This is the person who has addictions. So be conscious of the fact that it could be meeting somebody or being in the presence of somebody. It could even be family of someone who has an addictive personality, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, whatever it is, food even. If that person's having a detrimental effect on you, remove yourself from the vicinity because you need to protect your energy from these people. May, the Knight of Cups. See, he's the romantic idealist. His feet are not entirely on the ground. His head is in the clouds. So you've got to, if this is you at this time, then just keep reminding yourself that you might not be as objective as you need to be at this time for whatever reason. Maybe you've met someone. Maybe people are gassing you up. They're telling you how wonderful you are. That's a real drug, man. Like you think you're not going to be affected by it, or even if you think you're not going to be affected by it, you get affected by it without realizing. So it's really hard to stay objective when people are blowing steam up your ass. So be conscious, whatever it is in May. Try and keep your feet on the ground if you can, and if you can't, well, as soon as you realize if you're being a bit wanky, call yourself out on it. That's the thing about horse people. Horse people don't like that wankiness, and they will call themselves out on it, and they often call other people out on it as well. So yeah. Anyway. June, we got celebration, we got creative success. This is a point that you can celebrate and remember as a high point, especially if you work in a creative field. So June could herald some really positive results for you that you've been working towards, and you could get recognised. People will be like, "Wow, that was really good work." Yeah. July. We've got another one of the narcissist cards. This is the pure narcissist. So this is the addiction. This is the pure narcissist card. So again, toxic people around you try to manipulate you using guilt and shame. Remove yourself from the vicinity of those people and don't play the game. Guilt and shame, winning and losing, they're perceptions. Winning and losing is a perception. If that person thinks that they won and you lost, let them think whatever they want. Who cares? It doesn't mean that it's true in any way. But yeah, so that's in July. Don't play their games. Don't get involved with the games, and don't engage with that level of arrogance. The next card's really interesting based upon considering what I've just said there, because in August you pull your emotions back. You remove yourself from being around too many people. And even if you are around people, you're not really available to those people. You can be around people, but just not make yourself available emotionally. So you might find yourself giving one-word answers and just not engaging in any depth with people at that time because you just don't want to. You don't feel like it. Summer's yours, and you're going to do what you want with it and spend it with people you actually give a shit about. Excuse my language. September, the Emperor again. Boundaries, remember? This card's connected to boundaries. But also, it's possible in September you're thinking about you're planning the next level of your ascension, because it seems like this year is going this year, the 2023, will go very well for you. So by the time you get to September, it's that month where you begin to think, right, what am I going to do next? And you start plotting your next journey. As you do that, in October, you find yourself exceptionally busy. This is going to be a really busy month for you. Just activity. I think there's going to be a lot planned for you. You might do... I just immediately think of doing talks all over the place. Or just events all over. Yeah. 2 to 3 events that are just going to keep you very, very busy. If you're a project manager, if you set up these events, or if you go to these events, if you're a speaker, there's going to be a lot happening in October. November, if there are any things that are in your way, you're going to force your way right through them. If there are any obstacles or anything comes, the Ace of Swords is a card that just slices right through any obstacles or oppositions. You know, this card also means a clean break. So it could be that you cut off from a whole group of people because you just can't be dealing with the fuckeries, basically. So yeah, it's interesting. Do excuse my language. I don't usually use that language with the other signs, strangely enough. It's just because I know horse people and they appreciate no bullshit. Too funny. Anyway, last card, December, we've got the Lover's card. Healing, romantic love. Now, remember what I said, that this was not a year for romance, but now we come to the end of the year, it's starting. So it could be that the Dragon year could be the year where you focus on the romance, because it doesn't seem like it's a priority in 2023, all right? But it looks like it is going to be a priority in 2024. So that's really positive. I might just pull a quick card about that. Yeah, because you're going to be healthy minded. You're going to have a healthy mind and body by that point, and this is also that you'll also have a guardian angel that's going to be looking out for you, so and encouraging you towards those people that really serve the needs of your heart. So that's really positive. 2024 is the year where you're going to meet somebody that melts your heart. Okay, cool. Want to quickly remind you that you can buy my first book, Secrets of the Combined Astrology, from Amazon and bookshops as well. I know the Foils bookshops used to have it, Waterstones used to have it. I haven't checked for ages now. When I first released it, I was like going into the bookshop all the time, seeing it, and then taking pictures of myself with my book on the shelf. I haven't done that for ages now. You can get the big book. This is there's 12 Chinese signs, 12 Western signs. 12 times 12 is 144, and this is the big book that has all 144 charts for all of the archetypes. Or you can get your individual chart. So this is Sheep Aquarius. That's me. Well, no, that's not me. That's Ed Sheeran, but this is my chart, and it's Ed Sheeran's chart as well. But you can get your chart. So Horse Aquarius, Horse Capricorn, Horse Taurus, Horse Libra, Horse whatever, Horse Virgo. Whatever your chart is, you can just put that into Amazon and put Zakariya Adeel, and it will come up. And you can buy your chart there. It's £6.99 or $8.74, and wherever you are in the world, you can get a copy from your country's Amazon. And also, if you want to have a personal reading with me one-to-one, you can book that. You can email me at zakariyaadeel@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on WhatsApp. I never remember my number, but it's here, and it's also in the description box. So you can contact me, WhatsApp me, and we can arrange a one-to-one session if you so want one. Yes, please like and subscribe and click on the notification bell if you want more of my content, and I shall see you next time in one of those videos. Thank you very much. Bye.